Hemmington is a small village school. We've only got 54 children in at the moment, which ranges from 4+ right the way up to year 5s. So we have 3 classes here. We have a mixed reception year 1 class, a mixed year 2-3 class that I'm the teacher of, and we have a year 4-5 class. I would say I was quite an open mentor. I like to make the student feel as supported as possible, but without sort of giving them any right or wrong way of doing things. I like my student to reflect on her own practice rather than me to sort of tell her which way would be right or which way would be wrong.
Claire as a mentor is very open and honest and down to earth, and I know that I can go to her about anything, whether it's regarding school or regarding university. And I think that's how we work so well together, because she is like that with the children's other staff members and with me. It just makes me feel comfortable and able to go to Claire about anything really. My mentor gives me both written and verbal feedback on a daily basis, and I find both are vital and important for my progression, but I find that even with her written feedback, she still verbalises it for me, she still talks through it. So the recent lesson I've just taught on riddles, poetry, I asked for the children to orally retell a riddle together as a group, and this allowed for them to internalise and understand the text in a more memorable manner and aided their progression and learning when it came to writing their own riddles. I'd got this idea from Claire. I'd observed Claire prior to my unit of literacy, and she used that specific approach to teaching, and she'd done that with the children, and you could see as an observer how engaged the children were through it and how it did aid and progress their learning on.
I like to be part of the lesson without sort of the children relying on me. So the children don't tend to come to me, they tend to go to her, but I'm still there as a presence. There were a few children within the lesson that found it difficult to get started. They struggled to sort of think of how to start the riddle. So with us having quite an open relationship, I felt that I could just go and have a quick word. You know, there's a few children on this table that have found it difficult to get going. You know, could you link it in any way to what you did on the carpet? And so she took it upon herself to do them in a plenary, stop the children, and sort of relate back to the text that they were familiar with, because they'd learnt it as an oral retell and they were able to do that.
My practice has massively improved on this placement, simply because Claire's allowed for me to have the confidence in my teaching and enabled me to explore different teaching strategies and approaches.
I almost see Levi's teaching as a lesson study. I kind of observe the lesson, and then I'm thinking continuously about how would I bring those new strategies and the new curriculum into that lesson, which is nice because then I reflect back on some of the changes that would possibly have engaged the children more, or could have moved the practice on or deepened the thinking more, and I share that, and then Levi reflects on that and puts that into a next practice. So it's almost like we're like kind of team teaching in a lot of respects. A successful mentor-student relationship depends, I think it depends a lot on personality, and I feel responsible for the time I am with my student. You have to put your heart into it, which what you do with teaching, you're influencing the future generation of teachers, and the way that you are in class has a huge impact on their learning. I don't want them to become a mini me. I just want them to take on board things that, you know, that we share as a school, but then to become themselves.
Having Claire as my final year teaching mentor has enabled me to feel confident and ready and excited for my own class when I become a newly qualified teacher.